Hello, everyone. It is I, Mike V. Welcome to the post-commentary highlights for Day 6 of Poker Marathon Week. Day 6 events consisted of short deck, or 6+ hold'em, and 5-card draw. So let's go ahead and get started. So for those of you who are new to 6+ hold'em, it's basically like normal Texas hold'em, except that a flush beats a full house, and there are no deuces, threes, fours, or fives in the deck. So it's a strip deck, and an ace 6, 7, 8, 9 is considered a straight as a result. All right, so let's get started. This hand here, which is in the middle of late registration, is actually quite informative of how different 6+ hold'em is. So we got ace king versus pocket kings in an all-in scenario. As you can see, ace king against kings is normally very good for the pocket kings, but you will have noticed as I bring up the replayer that ace king suited is actually a coin toss. And it was a favorite when the heart draw came. So as you can see here, I'm looking at the percentages so you guys can see 46% versus 51 or 48, I think it said. So yeah, that is nuts. All right, moving on. I have ace queen here in this hand, three-handed. Flop a queen with a straight draw. In this game, it's going to be very common to make a straight. Or if you don't make a straight, someone else will. And like right here, ace-high straight here. Heads up against Dale, who had just rebought. He checks the turn, so on the river I went ahead and bet for value, but he didn't have anything, so he folded. All right, moving on. Late registration is over at this point, so this skips quite a bit. So I went ahead and limped in with the ace-9. Three-handed, it's ace 8-7. A couple of spades, and I do have the ace of spades. I went ahead and bet. Both called. Both Robin and Dale. King on the turn. Then we checked it around, and here's an example of that low straight. Ace 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got the 9-high straight with the ace substituting as for a 5. It's kind of like how aces are low in normal poker with ace 2, 3, 4, 5. And Dale had the 9 as well, so we chopped it up. There was an ace on the board, so he only needed a 9 to complete that straight. Moving on, I am relatively short stacked. Dale and Bowling Dude are in a heads-up match here with ace, queen, 8, couple of spades. Over at the other table, Zippy is doing quite well. Dale's all in with the queen on the turn, but is facing trip queens by Bowling Dude, who wins, and Dale's knocked out for good this time. And we're down to the final 6. So yeah, this is a 6-handed game. You can only have up to 6 players per table in 6+ hold'em. And starting this hand, EIXT was short stacked for quite a bit during the tournament. Is now forced all in pre-flop, or before the cards were even dealt. Side pot between Bowling Dude and Zippy, and possible straights out there. 2 pair, aces and jacks, and Zippy takes it. We're down to 5. One limp, 10-9. I decided to go all in at this point because I was short stacked. Not that many great highlights for me here. But stay tuned for the 5-card draw highlights. You'll enjoy those. Robin does call it with queen jack. She flops a queen. I flop and a 10. I do turn a 9 for 2 pair, but Robin still had quite a bit of equity there and made the straight on the river. And I was knocked out in 5th. So we move on. 4 players remain. King, Queen, 9 of diamonds. Heads up. Bowling Dude and Robin. Ace on the turn. Bowling Dude bets 200. Robin calls. 8 on the river. And Bowling Dude pots it. Robin's thinking about it. Only the Jack-10 is a straight. Diamonds are much harder to get because of the fewer cards in the deck. It's much more difficult to make a flush. And Robin made the right call with 2 pair. Well played. Three-handed, Jack, 9, 8, couple of spades. Seston bets 400 on this flop. Folds to Robin. She calls, 10 on the turn. Like I said, straights are going to be quite common. Common hands to get. Seston shoves. Will Robin play? She does. With the low end of the straight, but is facing the higher straight. Queen 10, Seston doubles up. Heads up here, Ace, Jack, 7, Robin and Bowling Dude. Check, check, 8 on the turn. Bowling Dude leads for 200. Robin calls. Board pair 7s on the river. Check the Bowling Dude. And he makes a bet of 1,200. 75% pot. Robin calls it, and Robin takes it once again with Jacks and 7s. Successfully called off 2 bluffs from Bowling Dude right there. Bowling Dude raises to 750 this next hand after Zippy limps. Both call. King 10, 7. Zippy bets 250. Bowling Dude shoves all in. That covers both players. Robin folds. Zippy calls it. Flush draw against pocket jacks. And the jacks hold. Bowling Dude knocks Zippy out and takes a commanding chip lead. 3-handed. Top 2 players make the money in this event. That's another difference between this and regular Hold'em is that you have antes and a button blind instead of a small blind and big blind. And the button blind is equivalent in size to the antes, which means the antes are pretty large. So Bowling Dude raises, Robin calls, we're heads up. Queen, Jack, 10, a couple of diamonds. Continuation bet of 2,000 by Bowling Dude. Robin plays, ace of diamonds on the turn. Goes check, check, and the king on the river puts a straight on the board. Bowling Dude pushes it all in. And Robin's going to call it. And, of course, they both share the pot right there. Having the same hand as on the board. Bowling Dude raises to 750. Robin calls. Once again, they're heads up. Ace, Queen, Jack, couple of diamonds. Check, check. Ace on the turn. Check, check. 8 on the river. Now Bowling Dude bets 2,500. Robin calls and pocket kings for Bowling Dude this time. The hero call did not work. Bowling Dude wins that pot. Seston raises to 750. Robin calls, heads up, 10, 8, 7, a couple of hearts. Robin bets 250. Seston calls. Board pairs eights on the turn. Robin bets 250 once again. Seston calls. Ace on the river. Robin checks. Goes check, check. Pocket kings for Seston. Beats the, what is it, sevens with the eights on board of Robin. Moving on. All right, Robin's short stacked here. Ace, queen, jack, couple of spades. 503 chips left. Yep, all in. And a call. Ace, king against ace 10. Ace, king holds. Robin doubles up with the straight. Still short stacked, though, and is facing a raise of 1,800 by Bowling Dude, and calls it. 3 queens on the flop. Robin bets 300. Bowling Dude puts Robin all in. Robin calls. Is facing a bigger pocket pair and is out. Pocket sevens losing to pocket jacks. Even with a 7 on board, that's still a lower full house than what Bowling Dude has. So we're heads up. With a Bowling Dude having the commanding chip lead. Seston goes all in. This might be it. Ace-queen versus ace-6. Ace-queen's holding. It's not over. Seston with a double up. And we're going to fast forward. This heads-up match did have a lot of back-and-forth action. Bowling Dude raises to 2,000. Seston 3-bets to 4,000. Bowling Dude puts Seston all in. Aces against ace-6 of hearts. Oh, but the heart on the turn. Flush draw on the flop. And the flush on the turn gives Bowling Dude the win and the victory. And we can see the replay here. 18% chance pre-flop. And then, yeah, on the flop it was like closer to a coin toss, I think. And Bowling Dude's the winner. 99,450. Seston, good enough for second, 53,550. So that was the 6+ Hold'em event of Marathon Week. Now let's move on to 5-card draw. Okay, so we're starting in the middle of late registration. Take a look at the table 2, where we see an all-in double up with 2 pair by Zippy. Joe is now severely short-stacked. And over at my table, I have a flush draw. So we're 3-handed. So I draw 1. Robin draws 2. Seston stands pat. And I picked up the flush. Robin bets it. Interesting line, but of course I'm going to raise it. Seston, of course, calls. Robin calls, and I win. That was my first highlight hand for this tournament. I do check out what was folded. 2 pair and a straight for Seston. That's why he stood pat. And Joe has been knocked out over at the other table, but he's going to most likely rebuy. Yep, he does. We're still in the late registration period. And over at my table, I pick up 3 aces. I think I hold 2. I discarded 3 cards there. And I get a little payoff right there. All right, moving on. I believe we take a look at the table 2 for this highlight. Oh, and on my table, I got a flush dealt to me. Zippy put Joe all in over at the other table and wins with 3 tens, so Joe has to cough up another buy-in. I went ahead and raised with my flush. And Robin plays. Drawing 2 cards. Of course, I stand pat. Yeah, obviously when you see someone who stands pat and you don't make your hand, your best choice there is to fold in almost every situation. Unless you're sophisticated enough to bluff it. All right, moving on. So I get a free play here with the pair of nines. Dale over at the other table wins a nice pot with three of a kind. And look at here, I draw quads, but I don't get value out of it. All right, moving on. Here in the small blind, I get dealt a straight draw. 6, 7, 8, 9, and a jack. Four-handed, unraised, and I make my straight. Seston draws 3, Bowling Dude draws 2, and Robin draws 1. All right, so feeling pretty good about this one, as you would typically expect. So I bet my straight. Folds to Robin. And Robin raises me. She drew 1 as well. So I took a cautious approach and just called, and I was right. Yeah, she made a straight as well. Drew to the 10-high straight, just 1 point higher. Well done. And then over at the other table, we have a full house for Zippy, doubling up off of Joe, who had 2 pair, aces up. So late registration is over at this point. And we might see Joe get knocked off for good here. Let's see. It's all in, draws 3 cards. And Dale draws 3, I think it was, and beats Joe with 2 pair, kings and threes. So we're down to 6 players. All right, moving on. Unfortunate luck there, Joe. Hope you had at least had some fun with that, with some 5-card draw. All right. So it was raised by Dale to 600. Number of callers, including myself, looking to hit a flush. So 4 clubs. Bowling Dude draws 2. Dale draws 3. Robin draws 3. Zippy draws 1. I draw 1, and I make my flush. Hitting quite a bit of my hands here in this tournament. Checks all the way around to me. I decided to bet third pot. Try to get some value. Dale plays. Everyone else folds. And I win a 5,600 chip pot. Pretty good. And over on this hand, I limp with a pair of 10s. Seston raises to 800, so it's just another 400 more. 2 other players call. I'll go ahead and call in. It's 4-handed. Robin draws 3, Zippy draws 3, I draw 3, and Seston draws 2. I don't improve. Still have a pair of 10s. Seston bet some minimum again, but I think Seston's strong, so yeah, 3 aces. I went ahead and folded. Robin was the only one who called. But Seston takes a nice pot with 3 aces. I look at the replay to see what Robin had. She had a decent hand herself. All right, I folded this hand. Bowling Dude raises to 1,200, and Robin calls. Robin draws 1 card. Bowling Dude draws 1 card. Check to Bowling Dude. Pots at 3,100. Decision to make. Robin calls it, and Robin chose correctly. They both had 2 pair. Robin had the better 2 pair. Okay. Next hand, I have 2 pair dealt already. Bowling Dude raises to 1,200. Dale 3-bets it to 2,000. Robin cold calls, and I decided to fold this one. So I took a cautious approach here because there was a lot of betting. So we got draw 1, and draw 3. So I'm pretty sure I was thinking one of the two guys had a better two pair. Bowling Dude goes all in. Dale raises it. And no, they didn't have two pair. Bowling Dude had the naked flush draw and missed and just bluffed it. And Dale made the flush and knocks Bowling Dude out. Well done. Getting the chip lead as a result. All right, immediate next hand, I get dealt a pair of aces. And I limp in. All 5 players to the draw phase. Seston draws 3. Dale draws all 5. And the other 2 draw 3. Everyone else draws 3. I just still have a pair of aces. Checks around to me, and I decide to try to get some thin value out of this one. Thinking my aces are good. Folds to Zippy, who calls, and I do get thin value for my aces. Pulling me up to 9,400. And yeah, Zippy had a pair of kings. I looked at the replayer. All right, I'm out of this hand. And Dale's going to raise it to 1,200. Thins the field a bit, getting Robin to fold. Ooh, but Zippy limp shoves. And Zippy does not make his flush. Dale had trip 5 since the beginning, I would assume, because he drew 2 cards. And we're down to 4. Here I get dealt 2 pair. Dale raises to 1,000. Of course, I'm going to play this one. And we're heads up. I draw 1. No improvement, except maybe a better kicker, but Dale draws 3, so I'm pretty sure I'm confident here that he started with worse, so I went ahead and bet. He called, and it was good enough. Got up to 10,000. Moving on, I now have a stack of 14,000. So we may have skipped quite a bit here, but there were a lot of hands for the highlights for this tournament. So Dale raises here, putting Seston all in. They both draw 3, but Dale had the better pair. Aces are good enough, and we're down to 3 players. Seston out in 4th. Top 2 players once again make the money, so this is bubble territory now. Dale raises to 1,200. Robin calls. And I call as well, looking to improve from my jacks. Robin discards 1. So does Dale. I don't improve. Robin bets. I decide to get out of the way there. Dale calls. Robin with 2 pair. Takes it. Much needed as well. Fast forward. Looks like Robin's in trouble again. Back down to 2,000. And she's taking her stand here. I've got 2 pair. Robin discards 3. Needs some improvement. Oh, and improves to a better 2 pair. Definitely had worse than me going into the draw. And she got lucky there. Well done. She's going to need to repeat that, though. So I got to see a free draw, and I decided to just go hold 3 diamonds, which is not the best choice there, but there were no great options. All right, moving on. I've got 3 queens dealt already, and I raise my option in the big blind. Robin calls, gets 3 cards. I get 2. I went ahead and make a value bet. Robin decides to call it. Pays me off. A pair of kings, I believe that was. All right, Robin looking for a double up once again. Dale's going to put her all in. Effectively. Yep. There she goes. All right, best of luck. Discard 3. Discard 1. Flush draw, not there. Pair of 7s wins it for Dale. Dale's been knocking everybody out and starts heads up with the chip lead. Heads up was pretty competitive, I will say. It did last quite a bit. So here are the best highlights for heads up. So I had a pair of 5s, improved to 3 5s. Dale drew 3 cards as well, so I had a decision to make here. I decided to raise it. Decided to risk it, thinking my 5s were good, and they were. Dale paid me off. I take the chip lead. And the next hand, I've got a pair of queens, raised to 2,000. Yeah, when you're heads up and you got like a high pair, good strategy would probably be to raise it. Dale bets back at me, 7,000. I decide to call it. Probably gutsy move on my part. Dale draws 1 card. Probably has 2 pair. Does check it, though. Yeah, he does have 2 pair. So I had improvement chances there. I could have gotten a better 2 pair with the queens or 3 of a kind, but that didn't happen. So Dale takes the chip lead back. And the next hand here, I decided to raise with the pair of aces. Draw 3, no improvement. And Dale draws 3, so I was pretty comfortable there that maybe my aces were good, so I decided to get some thin value. Ooh, but he raises to 92.55, so he drew 3 cards as well, probably improved. I didn't want to risk it there. Conserved my chips and decided just to fold it. So Dale wins that pot. All right. Very next hand, I've just got a pair of 3s here. Dale draws 2. I draw 3, of course. And I just take the showdown. Pair of 10s are good, yep. Blinds go up 600, 1,200. Raise with the 7s. He does call, so I try to take the pot down there. He draws 1. Could be drawing. I make 3 7s. And I decided to go all in here. He calls. He had 2 pair. So yeah, at that point when I made the 3 7s, I was hoping he had 2 pair instead of drawing to a flush or a straight and making it. So, yep, moving on. I tried for a gut shot. Instead, I make a pair of aces here on this hand. Goes check, check, though, so I got to see the showdown, and the aces were good. All right. Taking advantage of the chip lead now, raising quite a bit of my hands, especially on the button. Dale, of course, looking for an opportunity to double up. Pair of queens, that's going to be... Oh, I decided to put the pressure right away and bet all in. Blinds are quite high. All right, check my option. Pair of 4s, draw 3. No improvement. Dale draws 1. And I predicted that he was drawing to a flush or straight, and I decided to bet and take it down. Pair of 10s. And you notice I'm clicking on the cards to discard before it even gets to the draw phase, which you can do. So if you want to save yourself some time, a little bit of a hint right there for future 5-card draw tournaments you play on PokerStars. You don't have to wait until after the betting round to start clicking on the cards to discard. Flush draw, 4 spades. Yep. Dale really needs to look for an all-in opportunity. Of course, I'm going to play with the aces, but he still folds. Just being blinded away. Straight draw. No. All right. Dealt flush. I decided to just limp it there, hoping he takes the bait or something. But I don't think he does, no. So obviously I'm going to stand pat. Dale draws 1. He shoves on me, though. I don't know what that was, but he had 2 pair. All right. That was it. First place for me on 5-card draw. An interesting game that definitely was. So I get the 110,500 chips for first place. Dale played well. Got a lot of the knockouts early on in the tournament. And collected 59,500 for his second place prize. So that was a fun day 6 of Poker Marathon Week. We had 2 non-Hold'em style tournaments. Well, one of them is technically based off of Hold'em. That was 6+. And then, of course, 5-card draw. Good old-fashioned draw poker. All right, so that is it for this highlight video. If you enjoyed watching, especially if you were part of the tournament playing with us, you enjoyed playing with us, you enjoyed the highlights, hit the like button. I definitely appreciate it. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, share this video with others, and hit the bell icon to be notified once I release a brand new video. Until then, best of luck and have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone. I'll see you for the next one, and go make it happen.